I'm Joanne from Magpies Cottage.
I'm Amy. Hello.
This is our knitting podcast.
Yes.
Okay, and I think it is just knitting today. I don't have anything else to talk about, just knitting.
A lot of knitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh. So.
Yeah. Cold weather now.
Oh my God, my hands are so cold. I just walked in the door. I just feel them.
Oh yeah, they're freezing.
It's like ice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm freezing. But you know what? I was sitting at home, working at home, and okay, the old guy, he's such a cheap son of a gun when it comes to turning the heat on in my house. I get so mad.
Yeah.
I reprogram our thermostat when he's not around, and I let him think that I don't know how to reprogram it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So then, yeah, I turned the heat up. Well, today I was just busy and I didn't turn it up, and so I was sitting there, and it was just chilly in the office because it's the it's the furthest away from the furnace room kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So you not only get your heat doesn't travel that far, but it also gets turned down.
Yeah.
He likes it set at 66 during the day.
Well, that was okay when you guys were both gone all day.
Yeah, no kidding. So now when I complained about that, so you know what he gave me? 67.
Oh my God, mine's at 73 and I'm here all day.
No.
I found it doesn't cost any more to keep your house warmer. It's to the heating up from cold.
Right.
So just keeping your house warmer doesn't really cost that much more.
Well, and he just does not understand. I would just like it to be like, I don't know, 69, 70 maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
And leave it that way all day long. I don't agree with them when they say it saves money to let it get cooler in the summer. I mean, in the daytime.
I don't know either.
I don't believe that.
But at any rate, so that's why my hands are cold too, because there I was working in the office, freezing my butt off all day. So going outside actually wasn't the big shock that it could have been, because it's chilly outside
Oh,
too.
dang, yeah.
But,
Yep.
oh well, it's winter. It's January. What do you
Yep.
want?
Yep.
If you want warm weather, go to Florida like the rest of the snowbirds do.
Right, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't really want to go to Florida. Although, if I was retired, I could see myself flying to California and spending, say, 3 weeks in February or so, or even leaving like mid-January like it is now, and flying out by Derek and Ashley and just staying for 3 weeks.
Would they like it?
I don't know. But see, they're both working from home right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it would not be good.
No. But on the other hand, I would just go stay in their spare room. I would make dinner. I would sit out in their patio because they've got a gorgeous covered patio. And out there this time of year, I mean, it can get cold. It can be like 55.
Yeah.
I'd take
Especially at
55.
night, yeah.
Well, it can be even during the day.
Okay.
Because they're, Sacramento, so that's not really Southern California.
Okay.
And there is a big difference between Central and Southern and Northern California.
Oh, sure.
So, I mean, it's a big state.
Yeah.
But I could see myself. So I think that next year I'm just going to do that. I'm going to just say, see you, Ron. And I'm going to go out by Derek and Ashley for 3 weeks in February or something like that.
You might want to break them in with only a week or two to start, and the second year go for 3.
Well, but the second year I might have run along. Forget that.
Oh,
I want to go without him. There's a nice yarn shop out in Sacramento that I've been to a couple of times, and I could see myself renting a car and just driving up into the hills. I would love to. I've been to Lisa Sousa Dye works there.
Okay.
She's an indie dyer whom I absolutely love her yarn, and I've been to her workshop and her studio. There's other ones out there that I would love to go to, near, in the Oakland area, in the Bay Area, that I could rent a car and, go visit.
Does Derek watch this podcast?
I doubt it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say if he did and he suddenly moved to a one-bedroom, that would have been a clue.
No.
No,
Although
I'm
they
teasing,
are
I'm teasing.
talking about renovating their house, and one of the things, their house is a 3-bedroom California ranch. It's a lovely place. They have a great living room. Kitchen is a galley kitchen and really on the small side, and they have these 3 bedrooms, which are okay size, but their bathroom is small, And, well, they have a master bath also off of their bedroom, which I've never been in, obviously. I've never been in their bedroom even. But, they're thinking about taking some of this space and reconfiguring it so that they would go down to a 2-bedroom place, and then from a 2-bedroom place, and then trying to do something with the kitchen and making it bigger. They did for a while. They were talking about a bigger house, but they kind of like the mortgage payment they're at. So
yeah.
But then they thought, well, if we just put money away and renovated, I think that I like their house, and I like the property, the yard, and everything about it. I really do, and I think they would be on the home. Oh, the TV channel that's...
HGTV.
Thank you, HGTV. I couldn't think of it. Just totally lost it. But you know how they have, these different, remodeling kind of shows and whatever? I think it would be cool if they would put their show in on HGTV as an option.
Oh,
okay. Renovate my house.
Okay.
And, they talk about all the budget and all that stuff.
Sure.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Oh, well. That's been my thought on their place for a long time.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, neither one of us are wearing hand knits today.
No, I could have used it too at home, but oh well.
Mine's a commercial bought sweater, so don't ask me about it.
That's just a,
sweatshirt type thing.
Yeah.
So, well, this big yellow thing behind us, this is a sweater. Whoop, I bumped it. That I knit, somewhere between 8 and 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
It just sits there. It just was sitting there and sitting there. So I pulled it out on Saturday and I said, let's fix this. I know how. So what the problem was, it was too short. And I had a baggie in my stash with a full skein of this yarn and 3 little balls. So I had yarn. So it was too short. And so what I did, it all had a hem like this. Reverse stockinette that kind of rolled under a little. Well, I took there, and right in this one, I picked up, so you can see that ridge there. So I picked up all around right there.
Okay.
And then I knit 4 rows, and then I purled 4 rows, and then I did the ribbing. And I added the ribbing. So I added about 4 inches, maybe 4.5 inches onto the length. And then I figured as long as I'm doing this, I'll add this, because as years go by, those arms get a little shakier and shakier. So
Jello.
So this covers it up. My grandson loves to do that. He comes in, he'll go flick my arms to watch him shake.
I hate that, but mine did it too. Cora did it too.
Yep. Part of getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took a sweater that I never was wearing, and it sat there. And now I think I'll wear it this summer.
Okay.
This is all cotton linen blend. Really old stuff from Knit Picks of all places. We don't do Knit Picks anymore.
No.
But, I mean, it was fine yarn for the time. That's what I did.
Well, and you know what? It obviously has held up well.
It's just been sitting there, though. I haven't been wearing it.
You've never worn it?
I think I might have worn it way back on the year I made it, but not since then.
Well, it's now become a whole lot more wearable.
I know this was one I went back and forth, and you turn the corner.
Yeah.
It's not sewn. It's knit all like that.
Yeah, sure. This is like an increase line here.
Yeah. And I don't know if I like those big holes, so I might close that up, just do a whip stitch from the back or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'll wear it first and then decide. Because I know how to change things. It's obvious. I was thinking of Frivolous and Frugal's podcast when I was doing all this repair. Because they have a knit-along for Fix It or Frog It or something.
Frog It or Finish It or something like that.
Yeah, so I fixed this. That was what I did. And it took me a weekend. I think I worked on it Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
That's not bad.
So, yeah, no. So that wasn't bad at all. So, yeah.
Does it count as an FO?
It's a refo. A refo.
A refo.
We got a refo here.
Okay. Crazy.
Oh, so What do you have for finished objects?
Do I have finished objects?
Okay.
Okay, I am in instant gratification week. Okay, so my knitting this week was all about hats because I can knit a hat a day.
Yeah.
Well, I almost did.
Okay.
Okay, so last week when we were podcasting, I think this was my work in progress.
Okay.
I think it was. This is the slipped rib hat. I used the kit that I got here with the, what's this stuff called?
The brown camel?
The brown camel, and then the green is?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. And it's fuzzy, and it's like a mohair. And I love this. This is so soft. That camel is amazing. So I knit this hat. I think that was my work in progress last week. Finished it. Got it done.
And that slipped rib hat by Jody Brown.
Yeah. And then I thought, you know what? I have got stash leftovers. This is cool. Make amazing hats. So those of you who watched me work on my sweater all along, these are 4 of the colors in my sweater that I did. Except this time, instead of putting it with mohair, I marled it with some ivory, I don't know, it's a sock yarn, double-stranded. So this hat is double-stranded sock yarn, and so it's got some nice denseness to it. And I did 11 rows. I measured 1.5 inches, and that came up to be 11 rows. So 11 rows of each color. The ribbing is done with 2 strands of the sock yarn. It's undyed sock yarn. I got a cone of it here years ago, and I use this cone of yarn for little things, but okay, I barely made a dent in it. I think there's like 6,000 yards on this cone.
Yeah, it's 1,000 grams, which is 10 hanks of yarn on there.
Well, that's 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
Of fingering weight. So, yeah, okay. It's got a lot of yarn. And my plan all along for that cone was to do some, I wanted to marl leftovers, fingering weight leftovers, with that for Afghans. That's what my plan was, and that's why I bought it by the cone. So anyways, I haven't used it yet, except for a hat. But nonetheless, so I marled this hat, 2 strands of fingering weight, and it's just a basic hat. Now, is this going to get a fuzzy pom-pom? Yeah. Okay, and it's not blocked yet. So this was no pattern, just hat number 2, very basic.
What size needle did you use?
4 for the ribbing and 6 for the body.
Okay, 4 and 6. And how many did you cast on, you remember?
You want to ask me that?
Well, you don't have a pattern to tell them, so yeah, like 96 or...
Something like that.
Okay.
I think it was over 100. Why I'm thinking that?
Okay.
Okay, well, you know what? We could probably figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 12.
And how many?
8. 8 times 12. 96.
96. Yeah, that's
Cast
what
on
I
96.
usually do.
96.
Okay. Now you know, 96 on a 4 and a 6 needle.
Yep.
It would be equal to worsted weight yarn, but it's just 2 fingering weights marled.
Yep. Stash hat. And then I saw this pattern on Ravelry. And so this is called banff. Banff. B-A-N-F-F. It's a tin can knits pattern. And I just wanted to knit this gold yarn. This is Veracruz. Santa Cruz. I knew it was California something or other. Santa Cruz. And the hat is the pattern is Banff from Tin Can Knits. And this is the man size. So it's a good size hat. And it's just got this great Christmas tree kind of motif in it. And it was just this fun color work. I wanted to knit the yarn.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's really, and it knit up so nice. And this being, the stranded color work, it's double thick. So this is a nice warm hat. Yeah. Now, because it's man's hat, I won't put a fuzzy pom-pom on it. Okay? There will be no pom-pom because I don't think guys like pom-poms. But I could see myself knitting. This pattern ranges from little kids to, man size. Okay. It's a whole range. And so there are also some fingerless mitts that match it. And I'm thinking I'm going to make them, because I got yarn left, obviously.
Sure.
Maybe I'll switch the colors, because I got more black left than I do the gold.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think I have enough gold to do the whole pair of gloves.
Okay.
So I might do that. But nonetheless, so that's hat number 3. So then hat number 4, I started yesterday. And now, this is the June hat. Joanne just finished one of these, and I love the pattern. This is the leftover green from this. The what's it called?
That one's the slipped rib hat.
No, the green stuff.
Oh, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, thank you. I can't ever remember that. Anyways, so it's the Brooklyn, and then I used Carlton. This is Carlton for the cream. And so this is probably a big kid size. It won't fit an adult. This one ended up, I did knit the size per pattern, and it said adult, small, medium kind of is what it was intended. But because I used DK
Yeah.
and the Brooklyn,
smaller.
it ended up a little bit smaller. But so what? I think it's cute. This one will get a pink furry pom-pom. I just love the way this the June pattern knit up with that.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing I did with this. Okay. Some people don't like to purl. I don't like to purl in the round on short needles. Okay. It's just a thing I have. And so the hat is written that you purl every round. You can see the purl bumps. Well, this girl was not going to purl every bump or purl every round. So I turned it inside out. I knit it like this. This is what it looked like when I was knitting it. And I just basically did knits, but with the mindset of remembering that all my floats had to be on the inside, which would be the outside. I had all my floats, my yarn color changes, all of that had to be on this side of the fabric, so that when I turned it this way, for the way the pattern really is.
And it worked out okay for your decreases?
Oh.
They look...
Okay, so we didn't talk about that yesterday. For the decreases, I had to, in the pattern, every time it said knit, I purled, and every time it said purled, I knit. And I slipped my yarn in the pattern. It says with yarn in back, you have to slip it. I slipped it with yarn in front because I was reversing it. So when I got to the decreases, I had to do a slip, slip, purl.
Oh, okay.
And then make sure, so that way my stitch didn't get twisted.
Right.
And so
you got to make sure the white stays on top.
And you had to make sure, so then I thought, then I'll just purl through the back loop. But if you purl through the back loop, then your stitch twisted. So you had to do a slip, slip, purl, and then purl through the back loop to get that to work.
Okay.
That's what I did. It took me one decrease to figure it out.
Yeah.
It was, you just needed to make sure that it looked right. And so that's what I did.
All right.
Went home. I started this yesterday morning, and I finished it last night.
Very nice.
Yeah. So.
Hat number 4.
Hat number 4. So 4 hats for this week. And then, now, remember, I'm doing a hat a day, so that's 7 days worth of knitting, but I knit these. These are men's slippers. They're obviously huge. They're going to be felted.
I was just going to say, are those going to be felted?
Yes.
Okay.
My brother asked for some slippers.
Okay.
And so so the whole conversation was at Christmas. And my brother said, well, because I was giving all the girls all my leftover knitwear that I wasn't wearing, and I thought, here, girls have it. But I never knit guy things because the guys, I live with a lot of guys, and those guys aren't knit worthy because they don't ever want anything knit because, well, they're just jerks. So anyways, I thought I gave all my stuff away to the girls. Well, then my brothers and the rest of the guys now started belly aching that I wasn't giving them anything.
Okay.
And my brother asked me, well, do you ever knit Ron's stuff? And I said, sure. I've knit him socks. I've knit him slippers. I've never seen any of them on him. And then Ron says, oh, wait a minute here. And, you can just hear how this conversation's going, right?
Yep.
He says, he brings out his felted clogs that I knit him a couple years ago. 1 year, my whole family got felted clogs. And I had a blast knitting all these felted clogs. Well, he gets out his felted clogs, and my brother says, oh, man, I'd really like a pair of these Ron was almost going to give him the slippers that I made for him.
Oh.
And I just said, wait a minute, try them on. Let me know if they fit.
Uh-huh.
And then my brother says, but I would really like more of a back. And Ron, and okay, fine. So then I got my iPad out and I started showing him patterns. And then he says, like that one. So there's the pattern. This is Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool, which supposedly felt amazing.
Okay.
We'll see. I don't know. I held 2 strands of it together, so you got this weird marled look. I think personally, now that I wasn't going to buy 2 skeins of the brown and 1 of the tan, and I was going to do a different pattern. So it ended up I only had 1 skein of the brown and 1 skein of the tan, so I knit them, held them together. You got to hold 2 yarns together to do on the pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're using something like really bulky or something.
Right. And I heard that it felt better if it's 2 strands than if it's 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have known that.
I've heard that. I never tested it, but.
So, anyways, I knit 1 slipper one night this week, and the other slipper the
It
other night.
sure looks a lot easier than those felted clogs. Because those felted clogs, you're always going around in a circle, and you get to those toe short rows and increases. And they're always getting off skew. This looks a lot easier.
Well, let's see. On this pattern, you knit the sole first.
Uh-huh.
Then you start at the heel. Yes. You start at the heel, and you pick up all the way around the foot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so nice because the rows on the sole, there's a precise number of rows. And I mean, she says in the pattern right away, use a row counter. I mean, I don't use a row counter. I count my ridges, okay, whatever. But she says, and so for somebody who has trouble keeping track of that was a really good tip. Anyways, so then you have, for your size, you have a precise number of rows. And that literally, when you did your pickup, it was 1 row or 1 row of purl bumps you picked up in the purl bump. And so then you go around the sole to get this part, okay? And then you've got some short rows in here, or in this part.
To lift that back
To get the back higher. Then you bind off.
Okay.
And then the instep here, this part, is knit separately and sewn on.
Okay.
And because you're felting it, it was literally, I lined up my ridges and my rows and got it to ease it in around the curve here.
Sure.
And then she even tells you in there which ridge on here matches which row on here.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Sounds
that's
like
how
really
precise.
good pattern.
It is a really well-written pattern.
Okay.
It comes in a boatload of sizes. It says men's, slipper, but you could knit this in little people sizes. It's all in the pattern.
Do you remember the name of the pattern?
I will be looking it up.
Putting it in Ravelry?
I will be putting it in Ravelry.
Yeah.
And then
I want to see these once they're felted.
it's just a whip stitch along here.
Okay.
So that's, I just whip stitched it. I suppose you could have been, fussier about it and done, a mattress stitch or something.
Be felted.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
So why would I care what kind of stitch I use?
The only thing I wonder, is there a bump in here? Only a little bit.
Yeah.
Where you pick up, not much.
Not much at all.
Okay. Yeah, I'm anxious. I want to see these felted.
So yeah. So at any rate, it took me Monday night to knit 1 whole slipper and the sole of this one, and then I finished the other one up on Tuesday.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nice.
So I'm gonna felt these this weekend, and we'll see. I'll show you next week.
All right.
But yeah, so
Do you need to borrow my little washer?
I do. She has this great little it's like a countertop washing machine that is amazing for felting.
Yep, it works nice.
So yeah. So that's what I knit this week.
All right. Well, besides working on that, I have a hoe. I have a hoe.
A hoe?
Half object.
Got it. Well, I have a hoe too, I guess. I got this one along.
Well, this bag, I want to tell you, I just got a new purse, and this came with the new purse. This matches the lining of my purse I got, and so I thought, Steve Madden.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, that looks designer-ish.
Yeah, and so it's a nice little bag. I thought, imagine that. A purse with a project bag. Well, it's too big for makeup, so I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I know women who would use that for a makeup bag
Maybe.
and say, oh my, it's too full.
I just figured I got a project bag with my new purse. So in it, I'm making gloves. So I have one glove done.
Oh, I see.
So it's a half object. The other one's in progress yet.
I hate making gloves.
Oh, I don't mind it at all.
Well, it's like 5 thumbs. No thanks.
Oh.
One thumb is annoying enough.
Yeah, no, you can make it right to your size. This pattern, I use Ann Budd's Handy Book of Patterns.
Best book ever.
So that's in there. And it's got it for gauges, 5 to 8 stitches an inch. And it's got like 5 sizes for each of those gauges. So you can make any old glove. And then I do have it started on a second one.
Okay.
I just finished the thumb gusset, so hopefully that'll be done
What
next
are you using?
week. This is
Pretty.
my yarn carnival.
The yak stuff?
Yeah. Oh, this stuff is so neat. This one was called something like Steel Guitar. I don't have the slip anymore. I think it was called Steel Guitar or Rusty Guitar, something like that. But yeah, it's got the rust color and a silver and a pewter and a copper. It's just beautiful.
I know. I have a couple skeins of
Yeah.
that stuff at home.
And
too.
I'm holding it double, so you can see the stitches with it held double, and there's the ribbing.
Oh, you know, holding it double also then means you don't have to worry about weird pooling.
Yeah. And I don't know, I got the little, let me put it on again. The little hole by the thumb. So
You should use your sock technique.
I did.
Didn't work?
But yeah, it was because of when I cast on here, I used a knitted cast on, and that first stitch was funky
Okay.
from the knitted cast on. So the second one, I did an E-loop.
The E-loop is easier in that.
Yeah, except for sometimes that yarn stretches out that you do the E-loop with it. That's why I don't like it. And it's okay on this side, but on this
Fix it
side,
with the tail.
I probably, I weave my tails in as I make the thumbs, so there is no tail.
Oh, see,
I always do that.
I
But-
leave that tail on purpose because I need
Well, I don't always need to do this though. But I'll see. Maybe the yarn will bloom and it'll close itself up. So I'm not gonna
Worry about
fix
it?
this until I block them.
to. Okay.
We'll see. And we'll see the difference on the second one if that's any better. But yeah, Yarn Carnival on their yak blend. It's beautiful yarn, very soft. Not quite as soft as my sweater out of the Tenzing, but almost.
Speaking of your sweater,
Yes. Yes, I made my goal. My goal was, if you remember, that I finished my sleeve. And I have one finished sleeve. I have to still put it on a holder, but the knitting is done. I have a finished sleeve. Now I'll put this aside and make the other sleeve in the body, and then I'll join all 3 of them up to make the yoke, because this is bottom up. And I added, if you probably saw it last week, that little bit of color work. I just put rows 1 through 6 of the color work on there. And so, yep, I'm on track. So next week, I need to have more than half of the second sleeve done. We'll see how I do on that one. I'm really trying that I'll get it done in time. How's your sweater?
she says that like, nee, nee, nee.
Oh,
I have a swatch.
well, that's something.
I love my swatch. There it is. Actually, yeah, this would be the way it goes. This yarn is the Perth, and it is like this rainbow. So it starts out, I got blues moving into reds, moving into greens. I have a swatch. I might have a cast on this weekend.
Okay. And what was the gray again?
Oh, sock yarn.
Regia.
Regia. Yes, Regia.
Yep. That's
And so, yeah, it's just this beautiful gray flannel.
Mm-hmm.
Best, I mean, and okay, knitting it is a little itchy, but oh my gosh, is this swatch soft? I love the swatch. I'm really happy with my swatch.
That's good. You'll be happy with your sweater then.
Yeah, no, I am. So now I know what my needle size is. I even in my swatch have where is it? There they are, the steek rows, right there. And I watched a video on steeking today.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna steek this.
I'm gonna steek my swatches too.
No, I mean I just want to steek this now, or maybe I'll do this one because this was my bad swatch.
Sew it or crochet it or anything.
Well, this was interesting. In my sweater pattern, it says that if you are knitting with a non-superwash yarn, all right, something that would be woolly, sticky, you know, you can get away with the crochet hook method easily. You can, even in those situations, get away without doing anything.
Right.
I never do that.
No.
But my pattern says if you are using a superwash yarn, then you should steek but reinforce with the machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bad swatch. This one is, I mean, it's the same yarn. It was bigger needles, and I didn't like the gauge I was getting. And I was not real happy with it. This one looks much nicer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this yarn, and I'm going to steek this swatch. And using the technique that I watched on the video with the crochet hook method, and I'm going to see how this yarn, because it's sticky when you're knitting it, but it's really soft.
It is superwash though.
And it is a superwash. But I don't necessarily buy this, if you're using a superwash, you got to use a machine thing.
Okay.
I don't believe that. So I am going to try to do my steek on this swatch, because I put in steek stitches on both swatches with the crochet hook method, and I'm going to see how it turns out.
Okay. I'm going to try both methods. That's why I have two swatches. I wanted two swatches. One crochet hook, one machine.
Well, and so what I can do, though, is once I do the crochet hook method on this swatch, I'll know if I like it. And then if I know that I like it, well, then I know what I'm going to do for real.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And so
and
that's
one
my
other
plan.
trick they had is you run yours is straight, but you can't always see that straight.
No, you run
down
a
there.
basting thread.
So you run, like with red or something, or orange.
Yeah, bright color. Just run a basting thread
Yep.
up the middle of that center stitch.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to do that. I just think that would be a fun experiment.
Now, when I watched the Arnie and Carlos steeking, they said superwash, they run 2 lines of sewing machine.
Sewing machine.
Because if it's superwash, because it's too soft or slippery. So, and I watched one person did it.
Well, I was watching
I watched like 8 or 10 videos on steeking. One person, they used zigzag when they did the sewing machine. And I like that idea because I think a zigzag wouldn't mess with your tension. It would be flexible. You know, where if you did a straight one, it could either stretch out or tighten your sweater.
So a zigzag. And so you would take a zigzag and go right over the leg of the center stitch and the leg of the first stitch
or
here.
I might go one away too. I don't know which I would do.
Well, the one thing that they said, they want you to catch the leg of the center stitch with the leg of the first stitch in.
See, and I wouldn't care if it did or not, just so somewhere it was caught. Because I plan on putting a grosgrain ribbon.
I do too.
So yeah, the one I do with the sewing machine, I'm going to do with a zigzag stitch.
But you're going to put your tissue underneath it so that it doesn't stretch, correct?
Right. Or snag, on the bottom, those feed dogs.
Yeah.
Yep. And you got to pick a foot that has a nice flat
A walking foot, maybe?
No. Something with a flat foot and just a gentle curve up so it doesn't grab. Or,
Oh, I got one. Actually,
Yeah.
my multi-purpose foot does that.
Yeah, and I got a wide one. I have some that it's just 2 pokes out. That
No,
would
mine
do,
is
'cause that
wide,
would
and
catch,
mine is
yeah.
wider too.
So
I don't know. Maybe I'll try both methods.
The one I like, the video I liked the best on the crochet hook is done by Suzanne Bryan.
I watched that one.
Yeah, hers is the best, I think.
Okay, that's the one I watched.
Yeah.
That name.
Mm-hmm.
I watched something that Very Pink Knits did too, and I don't. Oh, that was on German short rows.
Okay.
I was watching that video too.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a German short row because mine has German short rows to get the back of the neck up.
Okay.
And I knew how to do German short rows. I just thought I'd see how somebody else did them.
Sure. Yep. And I'm that way with heels. I have one other thing here that I made, but I'll talk about that after you talk about what are you working on.
I haven't talked about this at all, but I've been working on it since the beginning of January.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, surprise.
Yeah.
It is a mystery knit along called The Long Winter's Night.
Okay.
And it is by Laura Ayler, who is one of my favorites, obviously. And this is DK weight yarn. And it's a mystery that's going to go on till almost the end of February. And so you get a piece of this pattern a week. So tomorrow morning I'll get it. So it started out, she's got this, so cool how she's got this named. Here, these are the icicles. So you can see they come different lengths.
Okay.
Icicles. And then you have a snow line. And then you've got snowflakes in this section.
Yeah, I see them now. In the camera, I see them.
Snowflakes there. And now you have mountains.
Oh.
Now you have mountains. And
Very nice.
okay, I think she intended it to be this way. Because then now you see snow on the mountains. A snow line on the mountains. I don't know. Anyways, so tomorrow, Saturday morning, is when the clues come out. So then my weekend is spent, I work on this now first until it's done, until the clue's done. So this is through clue 4. And there are 6 clues, but the last 2, clue 5 and clue 6, are 2-week clues. Because
you're getting wider?
No, there's a lot of knitting in them.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess because you're getting wider. I don't know. I can't remember what the shape is going to be. I think it's asymmetrical. So, yeah, you're going to be wider. But I love it because it's thick and warm. This is DK weight yarn. And it has I-cord edges. And I like those.
Oh, yeah, that's always
Love
nice.
I-cord edges.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very
Long
nice.
winter's night. So I'm working on this just on the weekends when I get the clue. And, yeah, and then I have a sweater on the needles for Cora that I'm putzing with. Not necessarily in a hurry. It's one of Stephanie Latvin's sweaters. I didn't bring it along because it's got too many balls of yarn. It's done with intarsia. So every color has got a different ball of yarn. So I've been kind of not bringing it to talk about here because it's got a million balls of yarn attached to it.
Okay.
Right now I've got only 3, and that's the smallest it's going to be for a bit. And then the next section is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll have 4 different colors attached to it. And I just hate all those balls of yarn.
Yeah. Talking about yarn management, this is a good segue.
Oh,
this
yarn
was
management.
the other good thing I was doing this week. I was playing with making a bag. You know, I like these bags with the screen in the middle. Well, this one I put some snaps in so that if you had, 2 balls or 3 balls in here, then you could put 1 out each snap area.
And they wouldn't necessarily tangle.
Right, then they wouldn't tangle. And this one is kind of narrow because that's how much of this fabric I had left.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, and this was just my play. And and I bought some of these heavy-duty snaps. The snaps are actually made for leather. So, yeah, the nice snaps.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so...
One thing I would do, I would make the base wider.
Well, that's what the other ones are.
You know,
This is just smaller.
and here's my reason. Yeah, since this is the prototype.
Right.
And I want to be able to stick a cake of yarn
Yeah.
in the bottom. So
Yeah.
the base in my mind should be the width of a cake of yarn. Like
Right.
a fingering weight.
And the other ones that I have at home that I'm in the process of, they're not done yet. They're a lot wider, so then the base can
then
be
the
longer.
base will be more.
Yeah. They're like the size that I usually make these, which is 14 inches long. This was like only 9 or 11 or something. But I thought you could still probably get 2 cakes.
You could get two cakes in there.
2 cakes in there.
I think so.
Or if they're 50 grams, you could do 3. So, yeah, but that's what I've been playing around with, making snap bags. So, look for them to be in the shop very, very soon.
I like that one.
Yeah, little knitting balls of yarn.
I like the
And I
fabric,
put a
of course.
handle. I got our little tag on. I ordered these tags now. Instead of, I was nuts. I was crazy. These little tags that say Magpies Cottage.
She was nuts.
I made these myself by doing those iron-on transfers and then cutting those little squares and then ironing them on, but you can't iron them too hot or the ribbon melts.
Yeah.
And then I use one of those Teflon sheets before I iron it. And so that, after you do a couple, it gets all staticky and these things were shifted. They're a pain. It's a pain to make them. So now finally I got smart. I ordered them off of Etsy, and they should be here. It said it, like it gave me a whole month's range, sometime between January 8th and February 8th or something like that. So they're on their way. But yeah, so then I'll get them from Etsy already with the name on them. I won't have to sit and putz with that anymore, because that was just insane.
I could see how that would be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. I mean, I get like 50 of them on one sheet of paper and cut them all apart.
What a pain that would be.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yep, watch
I like
for
the
these.
bag.
Yeah, watch for these. Oh, we didn't talk about this. Here
Oh my
you go.
gosh, we
Talk
got new
about
yarn.
that.
We got new yarn. One of the best yarns for knitting a sweater ever. But it works great for hats and mittens and shawls and everything else you'd want to knit with a worsted weight yarn too. Malabrigo Rios. And we've got 3 new colors. You know what? I think these 2 look good together. Just saying. Anyway, so this one's called Cucumber. Minty green. I love it. It's pretty. And then this one, let me think, Pearl 10?
Nope.
Cloud Sunshine, new color. Okay. Cloud Sunshine. Okay. And this one is Camel. Camel. Put these 2 together, you get a black and tan thing going. That works too.
Yep.
But anyways, they are new 3 new colors in the shop, full bags of these. And then there was another bag of just mixed lots. So there's a bunch of, for smaller projects,
Yeah,
a bunch
for
of different
hats or
colors.
whatever.
Hats, scarves, mittens, whatever. But it's just like 1 or 2 skeins of a color. So that's what's new in the shop this week. Rios.
Yep. And next week coming up, Wednesday to Saturday next week, I'm having an end of bolt sale on the fabric. So if you buy the whole bolt, I don't care if it's a half a yard or 10 yards, if it's on 1 bolt and you buy it all, you get 25% off that yardage.
Oh, that's a deal.
So it's a really good sale. But that's because I have those new bolts of fabric up front, Origins, and there's no room on the shelves to put them.
You got a lot of fabric.
So I have to clear out some of those skinny bolts. People can buy the last of them, and then I'll have room. So,
I
yeah,
gotta look.
next week, Wednesday, that's the 27th to the 30th.
Oh, that's
Wednesday
a great
to
sale.
Saturday. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yep.
Okay, and then the final thing I have to talk about is yarn hints.
Oh, for mystery.
For mystery. So those of you who are knitting the mystery series with me, you need 1 or 2, doesn't matter, you could do 1 color, you could do 2 colors, of worsted weight yarn that is non-superwash, so regular wool. So you would know if it's superwash, if it says superwash. If it says 100% wool, and it says on your yarn label, don't put it in the dryer, you're good.
Yeah, it'll always say hand wash on.
Yeah, okay, but it cannot be superwash wool. Worsted weight, 1, 2, you could do 3, but I'm thinking 1 or 2 is nice. That's it for Yarn Hints. It's a small project.
Oh, I have one other thing to show.
Oh, goodness sakes. Oh, you're going to show the linen.
No, my little set.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to grab some of the new stuff that's going to be
Oh, no, I'll
ordered.
wait for that to actually be here. We don't want to tease people.
I do.
Okay, we had the winter blues last week, my new color. And I have all those different bases. Well, that's right here. But I made a mini skein set. So the other colors that I use to make winter blues, I have them all singly in skeins. So you got
look at that.
a little set of 5. Like all the colors are in this one, and there's all the colors individually.
Wow. That's so pretty, just looking at that beautiful array of color.
Yeah, I hope it shows up okay in that bag. But yeah, so we have those sets. I have a couple of them. They're on the website. I will be dyeing more of these sets this weekend, so we'll have tons of them very soon. But yeah,
Tons.
Tons.
How do you dye tons of yarn?
I don't know. I couldn't even carry that much home. Yeah. But, yep, so that we had that new too.
Okay.
All right, now that's everything I have.
I think so. That's all I got.
All right. Well, enjoy your weekend. Oh, by the time I get this up, the weekend will be done.
Okay, well, enjoy your week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.